My name is MAUD TRAON, and I'm a jewelry maker at the Goldsmiths Fair. It's always very impressive to be here, because it's a very important fair, and we all know that it's a very important fair, so the pressure is always quite important, and that doesn't go away actually. If not for 20 years I know makers that actually are still stressed to come. There is something quite mysterious, I think, about the work, and even I'm so close to it because I'm doing it all the time that it's here. By spending so much time with it in a completely different context than my studio, I do realize that some pieces are really not strange but mysterious, and I always wonder if it's me really that made them. That's always a funny feeling. I would say that, and I would say probably something a bit like a treasure chest, something like full of things, and I think it's against boredom as well because there is always something to look at. I think that's the most difficult questions, and most of the time people ask me if I'm inspired by nature, and I think that actually I can't really say. As 10 years I'm living in London, it's very difficult to be inspired by nature here. So I think it's much more the natural motion of life and how we are surrounded by so many different types of signs and symbols, and how we can put everything together to create something, because this is what we do on a daily basis. So I suppose this is translated in jewelry, so with the concern of jewelry, which is stones, metals, and something a bit different, magic. I'm using a process called electroforming, which is basically I start with wax. I build everything with wax, and then I use a paint, which is a conductive paint, and this paint is going to turn into a metal, and that enables me actually to set all the stones together and to create actually what I can do really. And when it comes back from the electroforming, I empty the wax, so all the chunks are empty. So it's very light at the same time. It's big and light and heavy, and it's a bit paradoxal pieces basically. I discovered that while I was studying at the Royal College of Art, we had some induction in different techniques, and I discovered electroforming over there, and I think that I've probably used it since. So I must have something with this. I think it enabled me to play. That's actually a piece that is coming from a collection that I started to name Bollywood because they're a bit over the top. But this one probably doesn't really have the colors that you expect a Bollywood to have, but I still part of that. And I probably managed to do one a year because they're very difficult to do, and long process of thinking in terms of how to set the stones. And so here you have like garnets. This is also a big garnet here. Some tourmalines, some rough emeralds, the rubies, some mystic topaz, and a small quartz. And then I wanted the plating to be to create a gradient of color. So it was first gold plated, and then it was black plated on the top, and then I slightly removed so it could really create this gradient of color. Get up on the floor, let the music take control. Get up on the floor, let the music take control. When I work in my studio, I don't have a specific person in mind. Actually, I'm very concerned about the structure of the piece and the quality of it. Actually, I think it looks very random, but there is very, very few elements that are random in this work. Actually, so it's a lot of concentration, I suppose.